So today, two things that are basically sent by Ida, both of them, because the one is part 2 of these table topics. This one is called Dinner with Friends. And it was in a set of 3 that Ida sent me. And she also sent me a restock of gum. So for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably like 5 months, we can thank Ida for all of these chomping and mouth sounds. Uh-oh, here comes my dog. Hold on one second to like shush him out of the room because he taps with his nails. I'm gonna pop in a piece of gum. I'm not gonna crack open this pack yet because I'm gonna finish up what I have over here. So let's grab some Trident. Trident Spearmint. Yeah, I just snuck out of bed. That's why I'm wearing, I don't even drink and I'm wearing a Bud Light t-shirt. I got the baby down for a nap and now it's like, let's go to ASMR Nation. Alright, let's do some light housekeeping and then we'll get into the cards. If you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like, leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello, a few emojis, anything, as long as it's cool, as long as it's friendly. Hit the notification bell, and as always, I will link my tip jars wish list down in the description box down yonder. No pressure whatsoever, but that is what allows me to continue to make content. Also, go ahead, follow me over on Instagram. Same name over there, Net Nonsense ASMR. I mostly just post pictures, but you can drop a DM, say hello, and that is where I take custom requests. I have filmed this video probably 3 times, and something's out to get me because every time something's wrong with the mic or I get interrupted like a million times and I have to quit. So let's just, that we can cruise on through this. What animal would I love to have as a pet? I want no more pets, but I think axolotls are very cute. But in my fantasy world, I would want an axolotl. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right? Axolotl. That you can like hold and kind of like wear it on your shoulder like a little rat. What's your earliest memory? Nobody's gonna believe me. Well, some of you guys might. My earliest memory is kind of like being out in a yard and picking dandelions. Later found a picture of exactly like I could look down and see like the bottom of my outfit and everything. I was like 1.5. You might believe me, you might not. What's it to you? What's it to me? But trauma does some weird things to a brain. So some people with a lot of like early childhood trauma have really early memories, and some people with a lot of early childhood trauma have like no memory. It's all over the place. It is what it is. If you could be a foreign ambassador, which country would you choose? Maybe like New Zealand. What's your favorite candy? Sour Punch straws? Is that what they're called? But like the short ones? Sour Punch. They're like little tubes, but not like the long tubes, the little tubes. Often when I'm driving and I'm getting, because probably not anymore, but I had to drive a long distance for work, 2 hours and 20 minutes. After working, I'd be so tired and I'd have to pull over and get sour candy to like shock me back into my system. And that was always my pick. What do you like most about the state where I live? We have a really pretty autumn. I will give credit where credit is due. Beautiful autumn here in the Midwest. It's about to happen like in 2 weeks, I bet. I've already noticed that the leaves are falling. What is your most prized possession? So we're talking about like material possessions. Like I need my car, but it's nothing special. I just need a car. And like my tech. I need my tech. I value my tech. Kindle. Like my home. What movie made you laugh until you cried? I think we just talked about this, that I watched Dumb and Dumber a few weeks ago, and I was a little wet under the eyes. It still gets me. It still gets me. What indulgence would you enjoy if there were no consequences? Desserts of all kinds. I feel like crap immediately after I eat a dessert, so I don't do it all the time, but I would indulge more if I didn't have to feel like crap or worry about like my health or anything. I'd have dessert all the time. Ice cream. What scared you the most when you were young? I've had health anxiety since I was a young lass. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Never mind, I would wish it on a few people. But it's the worst kind of anxiety. I think it's the worst kind of anxiety in the world. Because it's not just anxiety, it's obsessive. So it's obsessive anxiety. It's like two horrible things coming together and spinning out of control. I've had that since I was little. I'm better now than I ever was. I think that just comes with age. Because I don't have any real tips other than talk to somebody if you feel like that. Like you have to talk to somebody, and then learning like that release of control. I think that's what my thing was like, I can't control the outcome of sometimes, like you're sick or you're going through tests for something health-wise and you're starting to freak out. Like, you can't control that. You just go, you do your tests, and you do the next thing. You just listen to your stupid or wise doctor. I don't know. If you could trade houses with somebody, who would you choose? Somebody with an RV or even just a camper. Even if I had a camper in my driveway. I already talked to my husband about this, so he knows. This isn't a secret between us. Sorry, I just hit the mic a little bit. I would love to live in a camper, usually in the driveway, but I would disappear sometimes to more scenic places, but mostly in the driveway, and I'd just come in, visit with my family, snuggle a little bit, and they're welcome to come spend the night with me sometimes too, but I'm not responsible for all the chores in the house. I'm just responsible for my little camper. Fantasy world. Which mystery or unsolved case would you like to know the truth about? Like the most popular one that drives me up the wall, JonBenet Ramsey. But there's some local ones that are still unsolved that I would really like. Johnny Gosh. Even though we kind of know some of the details, like pending that everything the mom knows is true now and accurate. Not necessarily true, but accurate. We know more. But I would love just to bust that case wide open. Johnny Gosh. If you don't know what that is, I did do a video on it a long time ago. And this is why it was hyper focus of mine for a long time, and I've been on this like human kind of info bus for a while, which is also why I have strong opinions on where I choose to get my human information from. I've been down some faulty rabbit holes. I've learned my lesson. My family had ties to his family. My grandpa worked with his grandpa way back in the 80s. What would be a perfect night of TV? A little comedy. Okay, so in what order though? So maybe like a little horror, alright? And then a little comedy to kind of round that out, you know? And then finish with like a little suspense mystery series. What's next? Would you rather be lucky or wise? Let me tell you the honest to God truth. I would rather be lucky. I feel like I've been through quite a lot, so I've got my wisdom points up, and it doesn't do me a lot of good. I need some luck. So at this point in my life, I'm going to say luck. Probably wouldn't have said that in younger years, but I'm saying it now. Who's your favorite celebrity right now? Cillian Murphy. And I almost feel bad because Tom Hardy was my major celebrity interest for the majority of my life, right? And him and Cillian are like BFFs. So of course, what's that make me? A homie hopper. It is what it is. What's anybody going to do about it? Like, okay. I'm a homie hopper. Tom and Cillian. Love them both. What's the best way to deal with stress? Personally for me, I need to sometimes take a microdose. But if that's not available, and that's not always my first line of defense, but ASMR is usually my first line of defense. What else? Oh, I like to anger declutter when I'm like really intensely not okay. So like I'll just look around and I'll be like, oh my god, all this stuff has to go. And I know I'm way better about even having stuff, but I'll just be like, where did we acquire this stuff? Or I'll clean out a cupboard, or I'll clean out like the fridge or something. And it almost makes you more mad at first, because you're like, why didn't we eat these groceries? Like, why am I throwing away all these rotten groceries? Groceries are so expensive right now. Why did I buy that? Clean out your closet. Like, oh my god, I never wear this. Why did I have to have it? But once everything's all decluttered and you have your stupid big chunky bags to donate in the trunk, you're like, whew, alright. Well, everything looks better. I feel a little lighter. Where in your life could you really use help with organization? My email box. I'm actually thinking right now that I just want to burn my basic email to the ground, but it's connected to so many things. I don't know. Do you guys have a solution for that? Do I just start another email and then connect that to my things? That seems daunting too, because I'm already in the middle of all these name changes, and I got a lot going on right now. If If you could be a backup singer for any band, who would it be? Because I can't sing. If I could, I'd be singing. I'm soft-spoken, or I'm whispering. I'm chewing gum. Those are my things. I can't sing. What would you have for your last meal? Surf and turf. I want it all. I want surf and turf. Crab, lobster, steak, medallions, Cooper's Hawk, surf and turf, but with seafood, like actual, because Cooper's Hawk, surf and turf, you can get the medallions, and you can get the like pecan crusted fish, or I don't remember what it is, but that would be what I'd order, plus a crab boil. Throw a lobster on there. All the veggies. I love veggies. And then we'll do like a lot of dessert too. So I want bread pudding. I want a thin slice of cheesecake. I don't want to overdo the cheesecake. I can only have a couple bites. French silk pie. Ice cream. What TV host would you want to interview you? Conan O'Brien. Have you ever purchased something you saw on an infomercial? Probably, but nothing's coming to mind. My mom and my grandma are both like home shopping network peeps. Like and there is some good stuff on there. There is. What permanent times would you set for sunrise and sunset if you could? Maybe like 7 a.m. sunrise, 9 p.m. sunset. If you had to downsize, what would you get rid of? Everything. Like I said, I'd love to live in a camper, so everything. If it was an RV, I wouldn't even, well, I'd probably need a car too. Who's going to drive an RV everywhere? But if you didn't have to work, how would you spend your time? Relaxing, volunteering. Like, I do want to volunteer. I have the toddler. So you can't even think about it like that. Like, I have a toddler. It is what it is. He's the kind of toddler that he is. There's not much going on in my life right now besides the necessities, the bare necessities. But I always wanted to foster older teens, like 17-year-olds. Like, give them a little chance to be a kid, you know, like they need a home. They're almost aging out. They're 17, so they're probably, you know, they're not my toddler. They're probably pretty self-sufficient. Like, you can just do the good stuff, like the fun stuff. You don't change diapers or any of that. Teach them how to, you know, read or write, or like just be a cool foster parent for a couple of years. And I wouldn't be the kind that just like makes them get out of your house at 18, but that's a whole other story. Okay. How many states have you visited, and what was your favorite? I visited a lot of states. I don't know the number, but my favorite area that I visited is the Pacific Northwest. I need to go back. That's my like vibe. The beaches, like Cannon Beach. I say that all the time. If you could spend 1 week at any hotel, what would you choose? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I really don't know how to answer that. I don't know. I don't remember hotels that well, like what they were, what I enjoyed about what. Or if you could take one CD for a cross-country road trip, what CD would you choose? Something. I'd burn something. I can't just do one CD on a cross-country road trip. I would have to burn my own CD. What's the farthest you've walked in a day? I know there was times where I was on vacations that I walked like over, 20,000 steps, which I think is a lot for me. It's a lot for me. Before smartwatches, how would anybody know that? Like, the only reason I knew that is because, I was about to fall over, but because my watch told me. If you were mayor of your city, what would you change? Ooh, well, I already told you guys that on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being the best, like we're talking about crime demographics, 100 being the best, like almost crime-free cities, and then 1 being gutta. My city, actually, guess what, you guys? I was up this morning at like 4, and I thought, like around 5, I thought somebody was doing fireworks. I was like, in my head, even though I should have known because my city's like that, but I was like, oh man, because right now it's Sunday. I was like, these people are out partying for, it's the extended weekend, and they're up just being a-holes. They got into the like leftover fireworks in their garage, and they're just popping them off like some real a-holes, right? No, they were some other kind of a-holes. They were shooting each other. They were really having like a duel. It was popping off too. I mean, it was probably a full load. So, and I didn't know until my fiance was at work like almost noon, and he's like, oh, this was right by us, and I was like, oh, that's what that was. And maybe like 2 weeks, maybe like a month ago, like 2 blocks away, somebody just got at a McDonald's down the street. So it's like left and right now. It's terrible. So if I were tangent after tangent, sorry guys, if I were mayor of the city, what would I change? I don't know, but it'd be something, right? It's something. I don't know, because I've never been a mayor. I don't know how you tackle that problem. But since it's their job, they should know. I never ceased to do maze. I'm in awe of how little people know about what they're already supposed to know. I think that's like my neurodivergence. Like, this doesn't click. This isn't clicking. This is your job. Did you buy your way in? Did you cheat on the exams? What's happening? In all kinds of fields, like the most basic, like the stuff I can look up, we can all look up, spend a couple days looking something up, and then you ask somebody like, hello, what is this? And they're like, what? This was starter info. This was readily available starter info. What's a highlight and your low light of the year so far? This year has been putting me through the ringer. Highlight, I got married. Low light, my job. My business page got hacked, and I am out of work ASAP. Has your personality changed since you were little, or are you pretty much the same? I think I would have to ask like my grandma. I'm not sure. Is the best kind of vacation relaxing and doing nothing, or sightseeing and doing everything? A little bit of both, but mostly doing everything. I feel like I just ate. I do. Sorry guys, I knew I had something. I just had what's it called? wasabi almonds. Wasabi almonds. So I'm gonna say more of the sightseeing and doing everything because you're only gonna be at that location for 1 week or whatever it is. Like, you can sit in a lawn chair in your own backyard, but you can't go see these waterfalls in your own backyard. You know what I'm saying? Okay. What's the best concert you've seen? I can't think right now about, I really can't. I used to go to concerts drunk. But since I've been sober, I've been to quite a few. Not quite a few. I mean, a handful, like 2 handfuls. And that Snoop Dogg concert that I just went to a few months ago, up there. It was up there. If you could compete in any Olympic event, which would it be? Wrestling? I was a pretty good wrestler when we had to do it for a gym in high school. What's the next fashion trend you'd like to see? I'm so burnt out. I don't care. I really only look at, when I'm surfing the Pinterest, I really only look at all black fashion, and I do all black in all kinds of ways. I do all black in like a professional look. I'll do all black in like a goth look. I'll do all black in like rob a house look. I will do all black in an emo look. I will do all black athleisure. Like, I just love all the all black. That's my genre of clothing. Like, it's not a genre, it's just a color. And then the way I diversify it is by the style. What piece is the high point of your artistic expression? What piece? What piece is the high point of your ASMR? Like that's, is this art? Is it? Because all I got. I do cosmetic tattoo, but I don't even want to talk about that right now because of what's going on. All right. If you were to pledge to serve the country, what would you do? Well, the call is coming from inside the house. So, I would sit some people down, ask them a couple questions, ask them what they're gonna do about it. Ooh, almost lost my gum there. What's changed the most in your lifetime? I mean, I woke up to a lot of my own behaviors whilst realizing why I had those behaviors and those thought processes. It's been fun. So, what's changed the most in my lifetime? Just being more aware. I'm still in the thick of it, you know? I don't even know if that's what that question meant, but what was your favorite book as a child? It's called like The Halloween Witch or something witch. It's in this room somewhere. I made my mom buy it again because guess what, you guys? My favorite book from when I was little. I found it like 10 years ago. I found it in my mom's garage with a yard sale sticker on it. And she knew that was my favorite book. So I was like, what the heck? What the heck? She would have never done that to my sister. She was like, oh, I feel bad. So like one day in the mail, that book came and I was like, yeah, you better, because that was not okay. But I have very few memories from my little childhood, and that was one of them. So I was like, when I got it, but it didn't smell old, you know, it still wasn't the same. But it's got a recipe in it, and I remember my mom using a book with a fiction book with recipes in it. It's like so cozy, especially like Halloween time. I should get it out and read it to you guys if I can find it for Halloween season, which is pretty much now. It's Spooktember. What would you change about your career? I'm changing it. Like I said, I've had a few things up in the air for a while. I honestly think for my sanity, like now that I have health insurance and like that's what I'm trying to look at as the silver lining. I'm married now. I have real health insurance. Crazy. I can have the freedom to do a few different things. I still got to bring in some money. I have my own bills, but I don't have to. I can do a few different things, and I'm thinking for my sanity, I do need to do a few different things. I don't want to sit there and people please all day anymore. I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to market. I don't want to network. I don't want to do any of that. And I know I probably will with like one of the things I'm looking into. I still will. But what I was doing, I couldn't. I'm fine now. I've just accepted it. I cannot sit there and like people please for 12 hours in a row, like back to back to back. Like, you know, you're just ironing out these little details. Oh, I'm done. It was about a decade. I've made my peace with it. Like, let's just move it along. And I still might do it, but not as my main avenue. I need a little break. I need a little breather. Like, I would love to do commission of what I was already doing, like commissioned work. Just show up, do my work, get the heck out. I could do that, but that's not really a thing. Would you choose to need only 2 hours of sleep at night if it meant you would die 7 years earlier? Again, at this point, I would say yeah, because I need it. I need more hours in the day. So right now, I would say yes. All right, you guys. That was the Table Topics pink badge. I already did the purple badge, and then we still have the yellow badge left to go. So if you are still there, thanks for sticking around. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and or a good night's sleep. And I